Hey guys. Huh. So in short, my neck is garbage. Here's why. So when I got off the phone with Fender the other day, or not off the phone, I was on their website and I chatted with one of their employees, and they said that they couldn't give me the dimensions for the nut truss rod nut size, except for to tell me it's a 4 millimeter Allen wrench. However, my guitar is a Chinese made Strat. Okay? Now, I know for a fact that the Allen wrench I used on my Strat was not as small as a 4 millimeter. It was larger than that. But that's beside the point. Here's why my neck is garbage. So I called Guitar Center like 30 minutes ago, and I asked to talk to their guitar tech and luthier, who does all kinds of guitar repairs, sets up guitars for a living. And I asked him the same question that I asked the Fender rep. Can you tell me the truss rod thread pitch and diameter for a Chinese Squire from '05? The Affinity Squire Strat. And he said, what happened to your guitar exactly? And I told him I was getting ready to tighten my truss rod to get a little bit of the bow out of my neck, because it does have a slight bow in the middle because I put 11s on it. And it settled as much as it's going to. So I was adjusting the neck so that I could get the action a little bit lower, because this guitar, from the day I got it, had absolutely perfect action, very low action, and an absolutely flawless neck. Okay? That's rare for Squire to begin with. And I told him I went to adjust my truss rod, and I stuck the Allen wrench in there, and I told him, I know I used the right size. I'm a mechanic. I use tools on stuff all the time. So I know when the size isn't correct. And as soon as I went to tighten the truss rod, and I think I know where I made the error. Everybody on YouTube says that you need to loosen the truss rod a little bit and then tighten it. You don't want to just go in there and immediately tighten the truss rod. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's what everybody says. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. And as soon as I went to turn it, my neck creaked. I mean, it creaked up in here. Okay? I think something got bound up in the neck. And when it creaked, the Allen wrench let go and just spun inside the nut. And I looked down the hole as I was turning the truss rod nut, or trying to. And the Allen wrench would turn, but the nut did not. Basically, the bolt head. Because if you look, you can see the Allen wrench fitting right there. Let's see if I can get my wrench off my amp here. And this fits in it just like so. Now, as soon as I told him that, he's like, oh no. So the Allen wrench just spins inside the truss rod nut. And I said, yes. The truss rod is fine structurally, I think. Going by that creaking sound, I'm not so sure. But the truss rod is set, okay? It's solid for now, but I just can never adjust the damn thing now. So it turns out Squire, particularly the Chinese-made Squires, they put a tack weld at the very end of the thread so that you can't take off the truss rod nut. Or he said they weld it in there somehow in such a way where it adjusts, but you can't pull it out. And I would assume that they put like a collar over the truss rod nut end with a groove into it that a plate fits into. And that would explain why my truss rod nut is so hard to turn. Something's bound up in there. And as a result, because it's got that lip on the very end of it, you can't adjust it out and take the nut out. So basically, my entire neck is garbage. There's no way to fix this without tearing the fretboard off. And you know what? I'm not going to do that. I am by no means a woodworking pro. So, I'm going to just have to go to MightyMightNecks.com and pay $155 to get a new replacement neck for it. And he said, dude, you'd be better off just getting a new guitar. Squires are not that great to begin with. And I told him, I can't do that. This guitar is special to me. This guitar has been through my entire addiction with me. I was 15 when we got this guitar, and my dad gave it to me. Okay? $100 for the guitar and a Fender case. Now, the Esquire Affinity Strats, I will admit, they are a bit better than most Esquire guitars. I got 14 years out of this guitar before the nut failed. So, this guitar, I have played so much in 14 years that my very DNA and blood is soaked into this fretboard. Because I would play until my fingers literally bled when I was a teenager. And if you look back at my video labeled my last YouTube guitar solo, where I'm wearing that long sleeve black shirt with the red stripes down the side, that was Renee. That was this guitar. Doesn't look the same because I've heavily modified it, but it's the same guitar. So, I'm heartbroken. And I know a lot of you out there that see this video will be like, dude, it's just an object. It's just a thing. Well, you know what? A lot of my emotions went into this guitar. A lot of my tears went into this guitar. And I still have it after my addiction. When I sold things I would never sell in my right mind just to pay for my addiction, my next fix. I've put more hours into playing this guitar than I can even count up. Okay, a guitar to a guitar player is not just a thing. It's an extension of myself. It's an extension of my spirit, my soul, my feelings. What else is music other than putting your feelings to sound? I have a very tight bond with this guitar. And yes, you're right, it's a Squire. It's a piece of shit. It's not about that for me. And for being a piece of shit, let me tell you, this guitar plays really nice, for now. But when the neck starts to shift and change shape because of environmental situations, the moisture in the air, temperature changes, the neck will shift. All guitars do that. And all guitars need a truss rod adjustment to keep them at spec, or to keep them where you want them. Because, well, like I said, it's just part of how it goes. So, when that day comes and I have to adjust this neck, I won't be able to. So, I'm pretty pissed off at Fender right now. I will never, ever, as long as I live, patronize the Fender Guitar Company. For one simple fact. They build the guitars to make money. They don't build them for guitar players. They could learn a thing or two from Gibson. And it's not my place to actually say whether Gibson is better than Fender, because I really don't know. But what I do know from the 1959 Gibson that I have, or that my dad has, even though it doesn't play perfect, I can tell you one thing for sure. It's built well. Hence why it's still around at 63 years old. Okay? If you built the guitar right, it should still be solid on age 63 as it was the day it came out of the factory. A little worse for wear, but the guitar should still be solid and usable. I highly doubt at 63 this guitar will be playable. In fact, I know it won't be. I know guitars. I've been a guitar player since I was 12. So, yeah, I will never patronize Fender Guitar Company ever again, even if it is an American Strat. Not gonna happen. I will not pay for that bureaucracy and utter flipping off of the masses by building a guitar that is inherently designed to fail at a certain point, just so you have to spend more money on their product so that they can make more money and you get screwed in the end. I will not buy from Fender again. Now, if somebody gives me a Fender, on the other hand, I'll gladly accept it, but I will not spend any of my money on Fender products. I just will not. Now, Mighty Might necks, they actually are licensed with Fender, but they are not an affiliate of Fender. I'm not exactly sure if I said that right, but they asked permission from the Fender company to build their guitar necks with the dimensions of Fender guitars, Fender Strats. So, in theory, a Mighty Mite neck should bolt right in, with the exception of me having to drill the holes for the neck pocket. Because, you know, Strats are a bolt-on neck. You can see the 4 bolts right there. So, being that it's not made by Fender, that it's a separate guitar company that was started, or guitar neck company started in the 70s, you know what? If they're built with the right dimensions, but built differently than Fender does it, sure. Cheapest one is $155. I could go with the maple neck and jumbo frets and get one for $150, shipping excluded. I don't know what the shipping is going to be, but that seems to be the route I'm going to have to go if I'm going to fix Renee. And the nice thing is, it doesn't have a Fender name or the Squier logo on it. And what I'm thinking, if I can actually get a neck from them, I want to get Renee burned into the headstock. And then on the back, where the serial number goes, Born Again, Rebirth. Because that was the whole point of this guitar build I've been doing with my Strat. Do you have any idea how many times I've taken this thing apart? With the exception of the neck. I never messed with the neck. Only the electronics. So, and the pickguard. So, yeah, that's my idea for this guitar. If I can pull it off somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will figure it out. So, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Have a good day. God bless you. You're important in this world, and you are loved. See ya.